Pool B team in the Al-Arabi Sport Club of Qatar.
After this game, we will be matched up against Diamond Food, a club team from Thailand.
Also in Pool B, Diamond Food is 1-1 in the standings after beating the Philippines and then losing to this team, Al-Arabi Sport Club, yesterday. There's your starting lineup. Surprisingly, Kupkovic will be coming off the bench. Star player, the leading scorer of Al-Arabi Sport Club. There's their head coach, Juan Manuel Quichelio, out of Argentina. While you're looking at the Rebisco Philippines and their starting lineup, Ugawan will be a starter today. Came off the bench yesterday. Lineup. Retamar also in the starting lineup. So far, it's only Bugawan, new guy inserted from coming off the bench yesterday.
Manuel Sumangid will also be starting in that libero position for Coach Dante Alexandre and Team Rebisco Philippines.
So a tall order for the Rebisco Philippines, but what I like about the game of the Filipinos so far, they're getting better and better. Their first game, they shot, or their efficiency was at 38%. It went up to 50%, going up against AGMK yesterday.
And people were curious about kung paano nila gagawin yung performance without our top two scorers. But in that pre-game, we saw that everybody could actually chip in. And on your screen is the top scorer for Team Rebisco Philippines, Ja Umandal, attacking at 53%. Wow. In terms of efficiency, 19 points for this youngster for Rebisco.
And also, Philippines, 27 unforced errors in their first game, which was Friday. And then yesterday was down to 24. Let's see if we can play a lot better and be more careful with the ball against Al-Arabi Sport Club. Set number 1 just about to get underway. In the meantime, though, if you want to find out 58% team efficiency for Al-Arabi Sport Club, they had 6 service aces, 11 blocks, and 4 players in double digits against Diamond Food. And we're off in set number 1. Retamar sending it right away to Malabunga. And immediately making an impact is John Chigbo. And he's the 6'7" middle blocker.
That's what we were saying. The height advantage definitely with the Qatar club team.
Chigbo played in the 2010 and 2014 Asian Games, has 10 points for Al-Arabi. There is a block against De Guzman.
Qatar will be playing a very crucial role in this match as they are the ones who find and utilize the smallest of cracks in the defense of their opponents. And for the Rebisco Philippines, they know that they're at a disadvantage when it comes to height, so they have to be able to put that coverage behind their attackers. They want to keep that rally alive.
Obviously a very tall order for defense and for offense. Retamar will have to find a way to fool these blockers. Chigbo blocking Umandal. There's a one-handed set by Almendras, and a tip finally gets Rebisco on the board here in set number 1.
You'll also notice that in the men's game, you don't get a lot of combination plays from the middle. Much basic, but it's a faster gameplay here compared to the women. And you'll see a lot of back row attacks utilized by all of the teams.
Yeah. Nothing against the women's game, obviously, but there's a lot more, a higher level of athleticism in the men's game because of a lot of the jumping, the defensive plays, obviously. Sumangid with the up, back row attack there from Umandal. Yes!
Umandal, at 22 years old, leading the offense for the Rebisco Philippines. This is a good start for the men in red.
Good coverage here, giving Umandal an opportunity from the back row. So 2 straight points for Rebisco Philippines as we tie the game here in set number 1. Out of USD, Umandal serving. That's outside.
They have to be able to maximize the absence of the best player for Al-Arabi, Kupkovic. This is the time to score as many points as you can.
Juma Faraj, the team captain, former national team player as well. Al-Arabi scoring for Rebisco. Al-Arabi coming off a 7-point performance.
Good ball distribution so far from Betamar. Engaging that middle blocker from Qatar, leaving Al-Fafara with a single block.
3-all. Gorgeous back there. That is from Renan.
Big
Riviero one more time. Al-Fafara. What a solid roof there against Mark Al-Fafara.
great blocking from Al-Arabi.
Just solid at the net. So far, a couple of blocks against Rebisco Philippines for Al-Arabi Sport Club.
And if you know you have a lot of tall blockers in front of you, you have to be able to choose your angles well and tatatsahin mo din yung power na ilalagay mo.
That is on the line as Al-Arabi Sport Club with a service ace. They had 6 service aces in their last game. So this is a strong point for Al-Arabi.
It was also a smart zone to target. It looked like they want to take Umandal out of that back row attack.
Wrong approach results in a free ball and a combination play. So Mangid was right there, picking it up. Back row attack. And Umandal yet again putting Rebisco Philippines on top by 1.
Umandal getting back the points off that service game. Good pick from Tumangkid also.
An adjustment in the scoring. There was an error from Nakpa Masajima. So it's 6-4 Al-Arabi Sport Club. But a block by the Philippines there makes this a 1-point game.
1-point timing for JP Bugawan.
Former FEU Tamarao, chance to tie the game again. Solid attack from Felipe Bandero, another Brazilian in the lineup, had 16 points in their last game.
They're just hitting it at the top of the block.
Bandero serving 7-5, set number 1. Easy over for Rebisco Philippines. They get lucky. They get it back the same way. Attack in the middle by Bugawan is a point.
That should be a third point when you are given a chance ball and your opportunity to run your counter attack.
Filipinos so far making the most out of the opportunities they're getting here in set number 1, keeping it a close match.
Have to tighten their defense a little bit more to overcome this deficit. But they're just down by 1.
So far, so good for the Rebisco Philippines. Nice serve for Al-Fafara, but better reception there. Combination play. Good coverage. Back row, Al-Fafara, and a denial in the middle. Also, there was some contact between 2 Qataris. Everybody's okay, though. That takes us to our first technical timeout. The Al-Arabi Sport Club up by 2-8-6 here. Let's take a look at contact there between Ibrahim and Bobby Borislav. So 10 minutes in, Neil, and it's just a 2-point game. What are the things Rebisco has been doing good?
Well, offensively, I say this kahit kanina, kaya naman mo ba it's a matter of getting good touches on the block, receiving well, passing the ball accurately to Joshua Retamar. So he can effectively choose his attackers well.
There's a dunk by Umandal as Rebisco makes it a 1-point game.
As I said, so far, Joshua Umandal has been pouring out the points for the Rebisco Philippines.
Another look at the chance ball and the finish. Excellent decision making by Umandal in midair, just changing it up. Saw the 2 blockers. Obviously, that's one of the strengths of Qatar. So why not attempt a dump, which he was successful, got a kill. Not a good first ball. An attempt to push. Another block. 2 back-to-back. Great plays for Rebisco, and we tie the game at 8.
This time that was on Steve Malabunga. 2 blocks already for Rebisco Philippines in this ball game.
Zuma Faraj unable to get it across with a push against Malabunga. And the defense at the net. Chance to take the lead for Rebisco Philippines. Bandero, yes! Felipe Bandero with a kill.
You're a second late, a millisecond late. Mahirapan ka talaga to close out. And that was a huge gap in the middle of the blockers of Rebisco.
And I feel like you see Bandero jump. Feels like, just a wide body. Feels like there's a lot more power than usual for an attacker with his kind of physique. Mandal is blocked. Retamar through the middle. Back-to-back blocks against Rebisco. Mandal tries again. Check ball. Rebisco scores.
That's what you have to do when you try to use all your power to get through that block and it doesn't work. You use the hand to your advantage.
There it is. Great play by Umandal. Off the left hand of the blocker. 9-all, set number 1. Philippines keeping it a close game against Qatar. Retamar is serving. Cross-court attack is good for Faraj.
One of the key factors that can give Rebisco a victory is area blocking and area defense. That was intentional. They really left out that cross-court angle for Manuel Sumanggid. He just wasn't able to get it.
Bulgarian Bobby Borislav serving for Al-Arabi. Umandal is blocked. Although points given to Rebisco as it probably hit the antenna before dropping onto the floor. I don't know if we're going to get a better look at that last sequence.
Yep. They can call a challenge, but I think they will save that for later.
So 10-all, set number 1. Combination play, back row attack is good.
Al-Arabi using their middle blocker as a decoy to pave the way for that powerful type attack.
That was Brazilian Renan Ribeiro. Scores from the back row.
You get to notice that sometimes primary option yung back row in the men's game compared to the spikers in the front line.
Why is that? For viewers wondering, as Al-Arabi scores.
Well, for attackers, the high keepers, they get wider angle, mas maraming pwedeng puntahan, and you can utilize your power well from the back row.
There's a block by Riviero. I don't know if it's just menial, but Al-Arabi seems these guys look too buff for the average volleyball player, if you know what I mean.
It's just so chill. Ano lang sila eh, with years of experience, when you take a look at their average age, you just know that they've been through a lot of international competitions already compared to Rebisco, na medyo mababa yung age range natin.
But nevertheless, we get the advantage that time around. The block, I guess, Felipe Bandero, take another look here. A solo block by Alfafara.
Good timing for Alfafara. Rebisco is keeping it close.
Yeah. And I think they forced Al-Arabi to call a timeout here. 1-point game, 12-11. I'm sure Coach Dante Elisnurin likes what he sees so far from Rebisco Philippines.
Yesterday, he was able to utilize all the players in that 4-set defeat against Uzbekistan. So I think right now, this rotation is working, but later on, we can also inject more players to just give it a different flavor.
You're looking at Juan Manuel Pichelio of Argentina, the head coach. We're talking to John Chigbo. There's Felipe Bandero. Meanwhile, Joshua Mandar and the rest of Rebisco Philippines so far making it a close game. So it's 13-10. Official score right now in favor of Al-Arabi Sport Club. Faraj. Juma Faraj. Good serve. Better receive from Alfafara. And a super quick there from Malabunga.
That's the tempo na dapat lagi nilang kinukuha. That zero tempo play on the quick hit.
Great timing. Malabunga, one of our tallest players on the floor at 6'6". Bandero scores again.
Ganun talaga eh, nagkakatalo sa labanan ng single block. When you're able to set up a double or a three-man block, it gives you a higher chance of getting a point. Pero pag single block, halos puntos na for any team.
So far, Borislav doing an excellent job keeping everybody involved for Al-Arabi. Another quick attempt there. Bugawan is Al-Arabi trying to pull away here in set number 1.
Looks like they were able to read the decision-making of Joshua Retamar in first few sequences. Mukhang nag-observe pa yung Al-Arabi, but now they know the tendencies of the setter.
John Chigbo getting ready to serve. Years old. 15-11 and a 3-point for Rebisco Philippines. We'll get it any way we want it, or any way we can get it. These 3 points from Al-Arabi. Time to Guzman serving. 12-15, set number 1. Fortunately, we give it right back. 16-12, Al-Arabi leading by 4 against Rebisco Philippines, set number 1. Rebisco Philippines trying to keep in step, but right now Al-Arabi Sport Club deal is starting to pull away. What are the things we can do to keep it close?
At this point, really can't afford to give unforced errors off the service line kasi we're down by 4 already, and if you're gonna give easy points to Al-Arabi, he will really pounce on that opportunity.
Felipe Bandero, one of the leading scorers of Al-Arabi Sport Club. Service just on the line, says line judge. They
can use the challenge.
Yes. Taking a look here, there is a challenge. It's very close though. Philippines challenges the official call, which is in. Well, the challenge though is a foot fault. Although I did notice that might have been the better thing to contest instead of where the ball fell.
Interesting choice of challenge for Rebisco Philippines. I actually thought they would be challenging if that ball went in or out.
It did seem like he did step on the line on the approach from the service area. Close, but not close enough. So no success. Failed challenge for Rebisco Philippines. Al-Arabi Sport Club now really starting to pull away here. Going to be 17-11. Let's make that 17-12 in favor of Al-Arabi Sport Club. Another beautiful serve from Felipe Bandero.
When you're receiving a powerful jump serve, your form should always be on point. Medyo alanganin na yung form ni Manuel Sumanggit that time. That ball went out of control. Rebisco needs one good reception to put a stop to the run of Al-Arabi.
So 2 straight service aces for Al-Arabi Sport Club after the technical timeout. Much better received right there. But the setup, not quite. That's just wide. Is there a check ball? Nope. Finally, we stopped that mini run by Al-Arabi.
That was definitely out of bounds play, but another challenge will be called this time for the Qatar club team.
Challenging a foot fault in the middle.
They are allowed a couple of challenges per set.
Philippines 0-2 coming into today's game, losing back-to-back matches, one against Sirjan Fulad, Iranian, and then AGMK of Uzbekistan. That was Friday and Saturday night. Meantime, Qatar, Al-Arabi Sport Club out of Qatar, is second game of the tournament. They won yesterday against Diamond Food of Thailand in 3 sets. So far, one of the leading scorers today, Felipe Bandero, talking to their setter, Bobby Borislav.
We still haven't seen Kopkovic play in this ball game.
So there's the challenge, and it was not a successful one for Qatar. So Philippines, they retain the point, although they still have their work cut out for them here in set number 1. Serving 18. Mark Alfafara. Wide. Well, we just mentioned this, right? When I asked you after the second technical timeout, one of the things they have to concentrate on, and so far, they haven't really been able to solve that issue.
Based on my count, we gave away 3 unforced errors off that service line and 2 missed receptions already. So Rebisco Philippines has to focus on serve receive.
Tamar sets it up. Umandal. Yes!
Much needed. Point for Rebisco Philippines.
5-point game here in set number 1. Joshua Umandal challenging the bigs. Block off the hands of Ibrahim. There he is. Bandero, off-speed hit. Ratamar back. There's a push from Umandal. There's a net violation going to be called on Al-Arabi. I think it's going to be on Borislav, the setter. There he is.
Lucky break also for Rebisco. Now didn't get a proper approach on that hit.
So 2 straight points for the Rebisco Philippines here in set number 1. Now just a 4-point game after being down by 6. Ibrahim with a dump.
No defender seen in that first possession for the Rebisco.
6'7" is Ibrahim. That's how tall this kid is. Well, not really one of the oldest guys actually in the team, at 36 years old. Not really a kid. One of the leading scorers of Al-Arabi, or for Qatar, when they played the 2020 Tokyo Olympics qualifying matches. Fortunately for him, and fortunately for us, the service error for Ibrahim. So 4-point game, set number 1.
Rebisco has 3 attackers in the front row. Si Guzman, Malabunga, and Umandal.
Ratamar can choose from any of those guys. He's serving now. 16-20, that's just outside. And again, service errors hurting Rebisco Philippines.
4th service error for Rebisco.
4 points. That's roughly the deficit we're facing right now. So if we could have tightened up our service in this game, could have been a closer match. Lopez is in the game. Jesse Lopez in the game for the first time. And he sets up Umandal, who scores.
One of the veteran setters for Rebisco Philippines. We actually have 3 in that roster. We have Retamar, Lopez, and Ishpol Borasa.
Lopez, the elder statesman here, 35. Played for FEU, if I remember it correctly. Umandal, the serve.
Another missed hit off the service line for Rebisco.
Back naman.
Which brings back the lead to 5 for Al-Arabi.
Closest was 4. Biggest was 6. Yuma Faraj. Malabunga, that was returned. Malabunga tries again. Borislav to Ribiero, and Ribiero scores.
Looking right, hitting down the line.
Lead back to 6 for Al-Arabi Sport Club. What an effort there by Faraj though on the coverage. Here's Ribiero.
Huge hole in that zone 1.
Yeah, Rebisco Philippines suing for time here in set number 1.
Nagsimula na din magpasok ng ibang tao si Coach Dante Alinsunurin for Rebisco Philippines. Later on in the second set, we might see a different roster start for this club team.
So 2 points away from closing set number 1. Al-Arabi Sport Club, Juma Faraj getting ready to serve. Outside, so we get a little bit of a break there. But still a long way to go for Rebisco Philippines if we are to come back here in set number 1. Kim Malabunga. Borislav setting up the big man John Chigbo for the kill, and Al-Arabi is at set point.
It's like Al-Arabi is all about simplicity and excellent execution.
Well, they get a good first ball. They set up the big man, and he delivers. Omar Hisham is on the floor. We're seeing him for the first time. 34-year-old, 6'4" middle blocker for Al-Arabi. Lopez will set it up. A little too low for Al-Fafara. Borislav, that was actually overset. Point for De Guzman.
Something to this man. Getting his first point off the ball game off that ad-lib. Just enough power to get.
So one set point save. So 5 more for Al-Arabi. Filipinos, Rebisco Philippines, they need to play perfect volleyball right now. Borislav setting it up and an easy put away there for Ibrahim. Great setting, excellent serving, and obviously a few errors, especially from the service area for Rebisco Philippines. That is how you can summarize set number 1, Neil.
It has been the errors of Rebisco Philippines that gave that lead to Al-Arabi, and that's 25-19 for the Qatar club team.
Take a look at some of the highlights of the first set. We actually kept it close, especially in the first part.
Yeah, we kept it close, but then again, when we started to give away free points, tapos nung nagkaroon na tayo ng maraming butas sa depensa natin, that was the time na nag-pull away yung Al-Arabi. Nothing spectacular. They were giving out basic A-quick and B-quick plays, then back row attacks and attacks from the wings. But now, coming into the second set, Rebisco Philippines has to really tighten up their defense. Let's take a look at that. 3 aces against the 0 of Rebisco Philippines. We can keep in step in the attacking department. And 5 blocks, 5 big blocks for the Qatar team against the single one of Rebisco.
And the result, 25-19 in favor of Al-Arabi Sport Club versus Rebisco Philippines. Set number 2 coming up when we return. Back to our coverage on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Good evening, Philippines. You're watching the 2021 Asian Men's Club Volleyball Championship from Terminal 21 Korat in Nakhon Ratchasima in Thailand, which is about 260 kilometers north of Bangkok. This is Al-Arabi Sport Club from Qatar. And right now they have set number 1 in their pocket, 25-19 versus Rebisco Philippines.
Now we see a different roster starting out for Rebisco Philippines. I see Ish Polvorosa, and I think I also see Isay Marasigan starting out.
Let's see if some fresh legs and a different perspective can give the Philippines a different kind of outcome in set number 2. Team captain John Vic de Guzman coming off a 3-point performance in their loss versus AGMK of Uzbekistan. There's Kim Malabunga on your screens. Meantime, the team captain Juma Faraj speaks Arabic, English, and French. The oldest players at 36 years old. There's Alfafara, and you mentioned Ish Polvorosa out of the Blue Eagles program in the ballgame for the first time.
Different flavor for Rebisco. Si Ish Polvorosa is known for his low-fast setting compared to the isolation plays of Joshua Letamar. You get to see the different systems incorporated in this Rebisco Philippine squad.
Set number 2 just underway. Borislav tipping it across for Al-Arabi. Here comes Umandal. Yes! Philippines on the board first here in set number 2.
He has been the primary option for our setters. And now that he's playing really well, the other teammates also have to score more points to help their cause win the second set.
Borislav setting it up. Faraj is blocked at the net. Borislav this time back set to Bandero. Bandero will put Al-Arabi on the board. 1-all, set number 2.
We saw in the first set, they can keep the score tight, but you have to be able to amp up the firepower as you enter the midpoint or the tail end of that set.
Bobby Borislav serving. He's the setter, 29 years old. Solid block. It goes outside though. Point for the Guzman and Rebisco.
Because we are a shorter team in terms of height, you can definitely expect a lot of off-the-block hits from our fighters.
Joshua Umandal. Borislav setting it up. They go to the middle. That's Chikbo. Off speed there from attempt. From the Guzman. Did not go across the net.
Medyo malayo yung naging setup nila. And hindi na tansya ng tama ni John Vic yung approach niya for that one.
Unfortunately, we mentioned that was key in our loss in the first set. Let's see if we can keep that number down. Good receive there by Sumangit. Back row attack is outside, it seems, for Umandal.
Masyadong nag-eagle. Hindi saw natin. There were no blockers for that pipe attack.
Again, unforced errors hurting the Philippines, or at least Rebisco. Al-Arabi now up by 1. Good receive by Umandal. And Manabuma punishes the defenders at the net.
Polvorosa engaging all the attackers.
Excellent setup by Polvorosa to Malabunga, who's serving now 3-all, set number 2. Not a good ball. Easy put away for JP Bugawan. Rebisco on top, 4-3.
That's what you get if you put your serve in. Marami pang scenario ang pwede mangyari. You can force the opponent to make a misreception to give you a gift that can translate to an instant point for your squad.
Bandero. Good one-handed dig there from Umandal. Alfafara off speed. Borislav sending it to the middle. The big man sends it outside. They say there's a check. Well, there is. Chikbo gets the point, and Al-Arabi is tied 4-all with Rebisco set number 2.
Ang ganda lang talaga ng timing ng Al-Arabi when they set up their quick hits, even the sets to the pins, kadalasan single block.
Yeah. John Chikbo serving 4-all. Ball still alive. Oh, excellent save there by Bandero, and the finish by Ibrahim.
Ibrahim made sure that that save from his teammate won't be wasted.
Wow.
Look at that.
Picture perfect action from Al-Arabi that time around. Great save, great finish, which is why they're up by 1. 5-34. Combination play, and Alfafara knocks it in.
Alfafara apologizing to the Qatari player for potentially hitting him on the way down.
No harm, no foul. 5-all, set number 2. Bandero, yes!
Same play, same result. Wow. For Al-Arabi.
Felipe Bandero is something else. I mean, he's racked up a significant amount of experience. Played with 14 clubs, including Brazil, Italy, Switzerland, Poland, South Korea, and Qatar.
He might be hitting at, what, 60% efficient, 60 to 70%.
And serving
Sabi.
maybe higher than that. Another service ace for Bandero. 2-point lead for Al-Arabi. Got a very uncanny routine when he serves, but it's effective.
Back-to-back service aces for Al-Arabi. Same target, same
Yep.
result.
2 service aces, 3-point lead. Al-Arabi 8-5 versus Rebisco, Philippines in our first technical timeout, set number 2. Good evening, Philippines, and welcome back to our coverage on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Felipe Bandero right now leading Al-Arabi Sport Club from Qatar in scoring and in serving, and they are up, sitting on a 3-point lead here in set number 2. The dig, not good enough though. Finally, Rebisco Philippines breaking that run of Al-Arabi.
And Umandal also has to acknowledge that he is being targeted at that service line. You know that the ball is coming to you. You have to be able to establish your feet to get a proper form on that on the services.
2-point game. Mark Alfafara, 27 years old, serving for Rebisco. Borislav setting it up for Riviero. Combination play, a hit there is good for De Guzman.
Almost mistimed that hit, but got a little bit help from the tape to the net, but we'll take it. Rebisco will get that point.
So 1-point game here. 7 serving 8, set number 2, a chance to tie for Rebisco. Borislav to Riviero. Great position there for Alfafara for the dig. Umandal over-received by Bandero. Rebisco on the attack. Combination play. Umandal with a kill. And the game is tied at 8.
It's Polvorosa using his middle blockers as a decoy. Very effective to get Joshua Umandal with a single block.
Three straight points for Rebisco, and we tie the game. Alfafara looking for the lead. Borislav setting it up for Ibrahim. Tap. No check ball, says our first referee. So that run stopped stops at 3 for the Philippines, although there is a challenge here from the coaching staff of Rebisco.
Some of the players of Rebisco are confident that there was a check ball, but let's check.
Based on experience, how accurate is being confident, Neil?
Paminsan, ang bilis din kasi ng balik ng bola. So you really can't tell. Sometimes it seems like nanahawakan na ng blocker.
Because if it's just based on confidence, yeah. I've seen so many middle blockers saying there's a touch.
Need to check.
Oh, but there is.
There is a touch. So that point will go to Rebisco. Good challenge.
That time around, 100 out of 100 for Rebisco. The run continues. That's a 4-point run now for Rebisco, Neil.
Sometimes confidence pays.
So Rebisco on top, 9-8. Set number 2.
8-15.
Set up for Bandero. Off the block of Mandal. Ball alive. Great effort. Just no third touch for Rebisco Philippines. So that run ends officially at 4 points. And the game's tied at 9.
These are the minor miscommunication errors that they have to work on, because that was a good block touch and they still had a chance to set up their defense if they were able to put that ball over.
So the defense of Rebisco will be tested here. Got to get a good receive to keep that momentum. Renan Ribiero out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Back row attack here. Bandero with a good first ball. Barrage. Yes.
Nobody defending that zone 1 hit.
Against 3 blockers, Juma Faraj still finds an opening.
That says a lot about their experience.
That's experience. I was about to say, that's experience for you. At 36 years old, haven't played since he's been playing 2010 Asian Games. So that's 11 years of experience for you.
It just sends that accurate calculation every time they go for their attacks.
Mandal. Good dig from Ribiero. Faraj will try. Nope. That was an over receive. Bandero. Yes. Felipe Bandero makes it a 2-point lead for Al-Arabi.
When you give an easy ball to Al-Arabi, you expect a hard hitting attacker.
It's a timeout here by Rebisco Philippines.
There are some sequences dito sa side ng Rebisco na parang minamadali yung pagbalik ng bola. And during these types of games, you have to maximize all the 3 touches that you can get.
It's still a close game. 2-point deficit against Rebisco. And Coach Dante Alonso, and I'm sure that's what he's pointing at as well. It's just a 2-point game. Let's not allow this get away from us.
You can just see the body language for both of these teams. For Rebisco, they know that they can snatch a set. And for Al-Arabi, they know that they have to respect their opponents.
Renani Ribiero getting ready to serve. 11-9 set number 2. Al-Arabi with 1 set in the bag, winning the first set against Rebisco. Combination play, yes!
Perfect sequence for Rebisco. Excellent receive from Sumanggid. Good set from Ish Polvorosa, and what a finish from Jao Mandan. Ish Polvorosa, a 5-time best setter here.
That's right.
Also in our country.
Seasons 76, 77, 78, 79, and 80 of the UAAP. In the meantime, though, kill by Ibrahim. 36-year-old Ibrahim stands 6'7", had 4 points against Diamond Foods, or Diamond Food of Thailand. Oh, what a serve. Is that outside?
That was on the line.
It's in.
What a serve.
Just on the line. Just clips the line. Ibrahim makes it a 3-point lead for Al-Arabi.
Pag ganyan kabilis yung from the serve, judgment call na lang papairali ng mga players eh.
I mean, the power and the trajectory of the ball from that angle at 6'7", jumping 6'7", there's a block. Ooh. Malabunga getting called for a lift there.
Second guessed himself. Didn't know if he was going to put it over already or going to set that one for Zhao.
And right on cue, pretty much the same point in set number 1. Arabi starting to pull away. They have a 4-point lead here. Their biggest of the set. Another combination play. Borislav. There's a block against Chigbo. Volvorosa setting up Umandal again. Borislav with a block. Back to Umandal. Yes!
Zhao Mandal recognizing the shorter blocker between the two from Al-Arabi, getting that point back for the Rebisco Philippines.
Yeah, went through the blocker, Bobby Borislav.
And you can see the frustration on the face of the center of the Qatar club.
So Rebisco trying to turn it around before the lead becomes insurmountable. 3-point deficit, 11-14 here in set number 2. Faraj, yes.
Another clean hit for Al-Arabi.
And it's just amazing the angles and the lines you see Al-Arabi make offensively. Bobby Borislav, the setter, serving. That's outside. A break for Rebisco Philippines. We're still in it. And lucky for us, Al-Arabi with some miscues in their game. They're not as tight as they were in the first set. Not a lot of service errors in set number 1. They have a few here in set number 2, giving us a close matches of 3 points.
Most of their servers din papunta sa jump serve, powerful jump serve.
Yeah.
Ilan lang yung float serves eh.
There's a free ball for Rebisco. Sumanggit. Straight away to Alpapara, who is blocked at the net. That play easily telegraphed by the defense.
Alpapara not hitting it at that speed as he gets blocked by Al-Arabi and the coverage wasn't there.
And that's a block of the set from PLDT Home. 4-point lead for Al-Arabi, 16-12 against Rebisco here in set number 2.
When they go inside, you need them.
Coming to you from Terminal 21 Korat in Nakhon Ratchasima for the 2021 Asian Men's Club Volleyball Championship. Eric Tipan with Neil Flores. And we're watching Al-Arabi Sport Club out of Qatar taking on Rebisco Philippines here in set number 2. We are down 1-0. And this is a 4-point deficit in the second set. Hernan Riviero knocking it in.
Again, right on the line for Al-Arabi. And it's harder to defend those balls na sakto lang sa linya.
Yeah. Team captain Juma Faraj. The float serve. 5-point lead. Another block. Single man block there by John Chico.
Tulo on contact with Jao Mandal. Perfectly read by Al-Arabi.
Now a 6-point advantage right away for Al-Arabi. And a free ball. Easy put away for Riviero. Lead is 7. So that's 3 straight points after the technical timeout. That forces Coach Dante and Linsunurin of Rebisco Philippines to call a timeout. Back matches one against Sirjan Fulad Iranian and then AGMK of Uzbekistan. That was Friday and Saturday night. Meantime, Qatar Al-Arabi Sport Club out of Qatar, his second game of the tournament. They won yesterday against
Challenge pa nga.
Diamond Food of Thailand in 3 sets. So far, one of the leading scorers today, Felipe Bandero, talking to their setter, Bobby Borislav.
And we still haven't seen Kopkovic play in this ball game.
So there's the challenge, and it was not a successful one for Qatar. The Philippines, they retain the point, so they still have their work cut out for them here in set number 1. Serving 18. Mark Alfafara. Wide. Well, you just mentioned this, right? When I asked you after the second technical timeout, one of the things they have to concentrate on, and so far, they haven't really been able to solve that issue.
Based on my count, we gave away 3 unforced errors on that service line and 2 misreceptions already. So Rebisco Philippines has to focus on serve-receive.
Satamar sets it up. Umandal. Yes!
Much needed point for Rebisco Philippines.
5-point game here in set number 1. Joshua Umandal challenging the bigs. Block off the hands of Ibrahim. There he is. Bandero, off-speed hit. Ratamar, back set. There's a push from Umandal. There's a net violation going to be called on Al-Arabi. By Al-Arabi. So 2 straight points for Rebisco Philippines, but we're still looking at a 6-point deficit here. Borislav setting up Bandero. Polvorosa, back row attack. Umandal, yes! Right on the number of the jersey of Faraj.
What a cannon of
Yeah.
an attack from Jao Mandal. There's no stopping this youngster.
What a great talent out of USD program. So that's 3 straight points for Rebisco Philippines.
And he has emerged as the top scorer for Rebisco in the absence of Magunas and Espejo.
Bandero is blocked. Ball goes outside, so that 3-point run is stopped by this attack of Felipe Bandero. You see Mark Alfafara. He knew at least he had contact with the ball and could have done a better job keeping it alive.
Yeah, looking at it at the positive light, we had a ton in. So it's still better than giving him a clean hit.
Lopez is in the game setting it up for Rebisco Philippines. That goes, I think, outside from Mark Alfafara. So lead is back to 7 for Al-Arabi. Take a look here. Again, Felipe Bandero, one of the best servers of Al-Arabi. Bojan Duki, number 12, is in the game for the first time for Al-Arabi. We saw him on the screens earlier. Right now, back-to-back points for Al-Arabi on the serve of Bandero.
When you take a look at the statistics later on, you'll get to see that disparity for sure in the serving department.
Rebisco Philippines, no service aces in the loss versus AGMK. Ooh, what a dig though for Sumangid. Faraj keeping it alive, Borislav. And Bojan Duki with a touch and a point.
Even a three-man block from Rebisco couldn't stop that hit from Duki.
Bojan Duki is out of Montenegro, another foreign player for this Qatari club. Set point. This is 9 set points for Al-Arabi. Here's that routine of Felipe Bandero. Much softer serve. Still same result for Felipe Bandero. And Al-Arabi puts set number 2 in the pocket.
We're so used to this